Hi, I'm Jeff Gonzalez, president of Trident Concepts, and today I want to talk to you about situational awareness. As we move into the real world, we're going to need to keep a closer eye on our surroundings. Now, the reality is that we pretty much do this all the time. An example that I would use or help share with people is when you're actually driving. So if you are not familiar with the Cooper's color codes of awareness, white, yellow, orange, and red, I'll give you an example through a driving example. As I leave my driveway, or as I'm starting to exit my garage, I'm probably going to be in condition white, just kind of getting started with my day. But I now need to shift, the moment I shift my vehicle into gear, into condition yellow. In condition yellow, I need to start to look around me, see what's happening. I'm looking in my driveway. Are there any obstructions, any children, anything that I could potentially run over? I make close little examination of what's around me. I get onto the surface streets, I start driving, and now I'm hitting some traffic, morning traffic. And as I'm doing so, I'm paying attention to everybody else that's probably not paying attention. They're on their phone, they're putting on makeup, they're having their coffee, whatever the case might be. I'm probably paying attention to all of them as they're not paying attention. And that would be an example of condition yellow. Now, as I'm paying attention to other people and realizing that other people are probably not paying attention, I might see the person who is not aware that the light turned red and the vehicle in front of them is not, or is coming to a stop, and they are really close to that. I might actually be able to see that and see that the driver of the trailing vehicle is not paying attention. And I might have the opportunity to go ahead and lay on my horn, hoping to get them to snap out of whatever they were doing. So the difference between what I just described is going from white to yellow to orange and to red. So let me back up. In my example here, when I got in the car, I was in condition white. When I put it into gear, I moved into yellow. I'm starting to pay attention to my surroundings. Then as I'm driving, I recognize that there's somebody that's not paying attention, right? I also recognize that now there's a potential hazard approaching the street light. So I move from yellow to orange. I'm paying more attention to what's happening there, realizing that they're not paying attention to what's going on. So the difference between orange and red is where I take action. And the action that I take is I realize that that hazard is rapidly approaching. They're not doing anything to change that. So I take action by laying on my horn. So that's an example of situational awareness. Now what we have to do is we have to take that example and apply it to our everyday life when you're out and about in town. You will be in condition white. What you want to do is you just want to minimize the time that you're in condition white. That means try to diminish the opportunity for you to be distracted. Right? Once you leave your house, move from your home to the public mode, all right? In my home, I can feel relaxed and comfortable because I have doors, I have locks, I have, my windows shut, I have a dog, I have firearms, all that other business. As I move out, I need to immediately go into that public mode, and now I need to start paying attention to what's going on around me. What I'm looking for, who's paying attention to me? Anybody that's paying attention to me probably needs my attention. After that, I need to also pay attention to what doesn't belong. What doesn't belong? If it's super hot outside and I see somebody wearing a really long trench coat, I might want to pay attention to that. But then at some point, what I need to do is once I've identified something that potentially could be a threat, I need to pay closer attention. Why did it all of a sudden trigger some sort of response from me? If I look closer, I might be able to pick that up. If not, I still want to keep my eye on that because that's going to be, again, that condition orange that I need to stay in. And then at some point, I need to start talking to myself and asking myself, what am I going to do? I will do this if they do that. And that's kind of what you need to start to think. Oh, if they approach me, I'm going to respond by good, strong verbals. Or if the individual lunges at me, I'm going to do some type of parry or block or whatever the case might be. These are the types of I will do this if they do that you want to start to think about, so that when it is time for you to act, you're not still trying to think about what you should do. You already have thought about something, or at least have a plan, and realize that whatever your plan is, it's probably going to need to be altered. So I can't emphasize the importance behind situational awareness, because if you can recognize that there are really only two types of attacks. There's a planned attack and a surprise attack. There's not much you can do against, well, I should say there is something that you can do against a surprise attack, which is paying more attention. But you may find yourself at some point being surprised. We're human, that can happen. What we want to recognize is that we want to diminish those opportunities as much as possible. And that is why situational awareness is so important, because you're paying attention to your surroundings, you're reducing the opportunities, you're making yourself a little bit harder target to be selected. All right, I'm Jeff Gonzalez. Whatever questions or comments you have, please feel free to post them down below. Until then, take care and stay safe.